Welcome to Honest Feedback, a podcast here for you. We are here offering advice on alternative perspectives for whatever is on your heart and mind.
I'm Lisset King, and I'm an emotional ninja. I help leaders release baggage and heal unresolved trauma so they can live and love their life of purpose.
I'm Goddess Brittany King, and I'm a pleasure priestess. I help women connect to their deepest truths, their sensuality, their sexuality, and hold the sacred union of both. Welcome back to another week of Honest Feedback. I am so excited for this episode because we are talking about something that's one, just very near and dear to my heart, and two, on the day that this comes out is a day that we are doing exactly what we're talking about in this episode.
That's right.
We are going to be at a personal development training.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And that is what we are talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love this topic. First of all, they just hit us in the heart. Like, This might be a long one. It might not. We'll see.
We have lots to say.
I have a lot to say because it has changed my life in the biggest way. Mm-hmm. You know, more than anything, the most monumental expansion I've had was choosing I can create something different in my life. Yeah. And I learned that through unconventional learning in personal development seminars and retreats.
Yes, I love it. I love that it's unconventional. I'm like, this should be the standard.
Oh my God,
this should be basic education for people, because what you learn is that you are the creator of your own future and how to actually do that. And there's so many different modalities. And yeah, as you guys are listening to this, we are in a training room right now.
Brittany is in it right now.
I am in it right now in a 3-week training. 3 weeks away from home, away from my puppies, learning, improving myself, growing, investing in myself. And yeah, well, let us just get into it.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
All right.
Hi, Lisette and Britt. I love you both so much. I hope you're doing amazing. I've started thinking more seriously about personal development. I know you both are experts in this field and have created beautiful lives and inspiring stories from deep inner work. I feel like I'm at a turning point in my life, and I want things to go up from here. I believe that exponential change is possible, but I have a hard time believing it applies to me or that I'll be ready or worthy of it. When I think of investing in myself in the personal development sphere, I come up with all the doubts. Why would I invest real money into an intangible outcome? Can't I just work on myself silently and improve then? If I do start, when does it end? How do I know what I need and don't need? There are so many personal development modalities that can then feel intimidating to start. Do you go by a specific need or desire or problem you want to fix? How much money do you put aside? Is there an end? Is it for every person? How do you get yourself to feel worthy of the investment and see the big picture? Help! What do you recommend? Love, personal development pupil. Yeah. Also, I love hearing your stories. Thank you, personal development pupil. I feel seen.
She's a fan.
She is a fan.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm going to keep this nearby in case we need to reference more of the questions. I feel like we should really start with the big one, because this was my big one. Am I worthy of this?
Yeah.
Am I worthy of this?
Yeah.
You start.
I'll start. So the way that I came to personal development was I actually hit rock bottom. And one thing that I noticed in a lot of the spheres is people go because they are looking for something because they're lost, or they know who they are and are up leveling. I have found those two, like you always find those two groups in these spaces. And so for one, I was like, I got to see people that were already doing it. And I'm like, well, if they're here, they look pretty smart and they're still continuing to work on themselves, then there's a place I can go and I belong in this room. And because, so with my journey, you know, I've talked about it before, but I was very asleep. You know, I was very much a victim to my circumstance. I hated my job. I was at a job for 9 years that I fucking hated. And, you know, I went to college, got my psychology degree with a minor in philosophy because I was committed to not getting a job. And, you know, I was a bartender and then I did sales for a long time. And I just felt like I was asleep. But I didn't know I was asleep. You know, it was just day in, day out. I was drinking, I was partying, I was doing all the things to really not feel the circumstance of my life. And it took someone, you know, giving me a hand up, you know, like real, not a hand out, but a hand up. They were like, hey, there's something inside of you. And I think your mind's just not right.
Who's this person?
Oh,
Can
my
you
God.
shout them out?
Yeah, shout out to Gadget.
Gadget! Thanks, Gadget.
Gadget, yeah. I worked with him and he just had his shit together and he was like, hey, I'm doing this thing. I'd like to invite you to the seminar. And he talked about how he changed his life. And I was like, I didn't even know you could. You know, I just didn't really, it wasn't in my sphere of reality. And so he invited me to the seminar. All the lights came on. It was one of those events where it was very confrontational in the way of like, this is you. Your reality is all your fault. You are the problem.
Yeah. You are the problem.
You are the problem. You have a problem in your life. You're the problem.
Yeah.
And
by the way, if you haven't heard that before, that's true.
Yeah. Actually, someone I went through this schooling with recently posted, I want to give him a shout out, but essentially he's like, if you're not 100% the problem, then there is no solution.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah. Anyway, it was, you've got to realize that you are the problem.
100%.
100%. And I realized that. it was my stinking thinking. It was all the things that were just not working. And I was like, I shall change it. And the change work was a little harder. But the thing was, I knew it was possible. Like in the moment of knowing it was possible, the lights came on and the desire came on. And what I'll say to this caller is like, if you have a desire to be better, that's all you need. That's all you need. And the worthiness actually came from doing the work. Like as the more I came through the work, I was like, wait, I deserve this. And, you know, I'm smarter than that person and all those things, not to be in comparison, but that's where I was at the time. And I was like, I can do this. I am a good person. I am a smart person. I just had some wounds to heal. And so a lot of my worthiness actually came through it. But it was like the belief. Was the first thing.
Yeah. You gotta believe. You gotta believe. Well, my personal development story is a little bit, it's kind of in two parts. So I too was just miserable. Miserable inside and out. Like, and I had a fake joy of like, everything's fine, but like I was drinking way too much and self-sabotaging and stuck in patterns that were just so not serving me. And they were in every area of my life, in work, in relationship. I too went to a very fancy college. I went to Tufts University. It was at the time $40,000 a year plus other stuff like flying there and all the other things, but like $40,000 a year. And after graduating from college, I was waitressing and leasing apartments and doing all sorts of other things. Thanks. But I had my godmother, my mom's best friend. She recognized in me, like, you're better than what's happening here. And she invited me to a seminar, and it was like an offshoot of Landmark, which is a pretty famous company, but she had gone to Landmark, and this was like an offshoot of it. And it was like a weekend experience. Very confronting.
Yes.
I felt like I didn't necessarily feel like I was in the right place, but I trusted her and knew that I was invited here for a reason. And so I was like, there's a lot that I don't understand, but what I did understand was I create my own reality. That was something that they really taught us, and there were a lot of exercises, and I had really intense, miraculous experiences of understanding that I created my reality that weekend. And I was just like, okay, I am feeling something. I'm feeling something. And then we had a dinner with my mom. And like when my godmom left the table, my mom was like, well, just so you know, like kind of this stuff is kind of culty.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, okay. And I was just like, well, maybe personal development is not for me. It's not for me. And it was just, and so I went backslid into the old habits and all the things. And my life was continuing in the trajectory of one who was not taking responsibility for their life or for what they created. And then when my life was in that life or death moment, which I've talked about sometimes on this podcast, a very intense sexual assault, but it was such a life or death moment that was, you have to make a change and start living differently.
Yeah.
Or else you're going to die. And you have this moment to choose where you're going with your life.
Yes.
And I chose to live, and I chose to start seeking out support and helping me live and helping me heal. And that is what led me to the pole dancing studio. And that was its own personal development journey that led me to, and it was somatic. And so to be able to release things out of your body. And it completely revolutionized my life to be in a space with others who were committed to their growth, to others who were willing to look at the hard thing, to be with others who took a breath when they noticed, I'm starting to feel defensive. I'm starting to feel defensive and wanting to like, but like I'm actually going to breathe and start to look at something. And so I met you in that space. It completely changed my life, and it allowed me to become the woman who is here today, running her own business, calling herself Goddess Brittany King. Like all of these things came from me investing in myself. And I too used to have a belief of like, I'm worthless. I'm not worthy of this kind of investment, of this kind of time, of who am I to work on myself, especially in a way that was poised to me as separate than my family. I might be in conflict with people in my life because of this work, because it's not college, it's not church, and it's not, well, my family was pretty hesitant to therapy, but my social network was very much like, well, you should just go to therapy. And personal development invited me to take radical responsibility for my life in a way that nothing else had.
Yes.
And I learned that I was worthy by being in that room. By being in that room, it was like, if you're here, there is a voice, there's a part of you that has already decided I'm worthy, whether or not you're fully aware of it. Like you feel the call, you feel the lean in.
Yes.
That is your soul being like, we're worth it. I'm worthy. Yeah.
By saying you believe in exponential growth, like that is like lean in. You're talking, you're asking. You know, we don't ask things that we're not interested in.
Yep.
And so if you are feeling the call, then, answer it. And there's so many nuances to what, like, I love how question.
Yeah, let's get in there. Let's go question by question.
Let's get into the questions question by question.
Yeah. So
in summary on that first one, you're worthy because you are. And one thing I've actually landed on more recently is this concept that you're not broken. Like already there's nothing, I want you to know there's nothing inside of you that's broken and needs to be fixed. And there are ways that we think. There's things. It's just like on working on your physical fitness. You are what you ingest. You are what you eat. And that goes for what you let into your mind, what you let into, like, who you're around. If you go to people, if you hang out with people that go to McDonald's every night, you're going to eat McDonald's every night.
Yep.
You hang out with people who complain about their circumstances day in and day out. You're going to complain about your circumstances day in and day out.
Camaraderie.
Yeah, camaraderie. It's, you get to be part of a group either way.
Yeah. What group are you choosing to be a part of?
Yeah. And so I'm a firm believer in limitless possibilities. It is in also on my branding.
Yeah. For those of you who are watching, look, we got cups.
We got cups. Mine says limitless possibilities.
Mine says God is Brittany. But we believe in this.
We believe in this because we have, like, stepping into this work. When I want to do a big shout out right now, because who we're going to hang out with next week is this company called Empowerment. They're the longest running NLP program. They're NLP.com. I've learned NLP through them. I've gotten life skills through them. And it's just, when they say, hey, this thing we're about to do is the equivalent of 5 years of therapy, it is. Like, you're diving deep. Like, you can sit and talk about the same thing over and over again for for 55 minutes. Time's up. Go back to your life. Go back in next week, and you're talking about the same problem in the context of last week, and you are getting tools. I believe everything leads you on your path.
Yes.
You will get there. And this was, like, unbelievable. And I've worked with hundreds of clients, and they tell me the same thing. Like, yep, I went to therapy for 10 years, and this blew me away. So, yeah, I just want to say that what's possible is so much more. And let's
what's possible?
So excited. Let's fucking go.
Yes. Okay. So she has a hard time believing if exponential change is possible for her. What do you have to say to that?
We said yes.
Okay.
100%.
It is just to niche in just a little bit. Sometimes we make up a story of, like, it's them over there.
Yeah.
They can be successful, but not I.
Yeah.
Never I.
Yes.
I am the one exception to this thing.
Yeah. And you get to be right about that. You get to be right about that. If you are the one who's creating your reality, which we 100%, there's nothing I believe at a deeper level than you are creating your reality. You're co-creating with source, whatever you want to call it. But if you believe it is everyone but you, okay. Like, literally the universe, your unconscious mind, everyone's in agreement with, okay, you get to have that. And so if you believe it's possible to you, if you're asking, the answer is yes. It applies to you. Are you worthy? Yes.
Yes. And something that NLP teaches us, and we're using more personal development terms. So NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, this is what Lisset does. Something that we have learned through NLP is it is all about modeling excellence. That is what NLP is based off of. That is what it's how it is pulled together. But if someone else can do it, you can do it. You can do it.
Yes.
And there is a map, there is a model for it. So, like, there's time and time again, like, there's never someone who had run a 4-minute mile. Then one person did it. Then all of a sudden 5 people did it. And then 10 people did it. There's a lot of different ways to go at it. Science, woo, all the different things. But deciding that you're the exception to the rule is a choice that you can make. And is it the most empowering choice that you can make? That's something we always ask. Is this the most empowering choice that I can make?
Is this the most empowering thought?
Yes.
There are times, I've been in some sort of development work for 16 years now. And I still ask Britt, hey, I'm having this thought. Can you just take me out of it? What else? And she is always like, what else could it be?
What else?
What other thought can we grab in this moment? What other reality can we make up about this?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Why would I invest real money into an intangible outcome? Come through, girl. This is what I have been so excited to talk about because it is something that I sit with people in this space when people have calls with me sometimes and they're like, I want this thing it's usually an intangible thing.
Yes.
I would like to feel confident. I'd like to feel in my body. I'd like to feel XYZ, what it is that you want. And then someone we sit with, well, I'm going to invest real money, but like, how will I know if it's working? Or how will I know if I've gotten what I needed to get from it? So like, would you want to start us off about like ROI, return on investment?
Yeah. So I will say the ROI I've gotten from working on myself has exceeded any dollar amount that I spent in college.
Any dollar amount I spent in life.
In life.
Life.
And it's wild because now it's just so instant. Like I had a client the other day. She spent $5,000 to come up and see me, do her work. The next day she had a check for $9,000. You know? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
it happens all the time.
It happens
all the time.
All the time. It's just like it's comically happening faster now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, like the moment I like decide to invest $16,000 in a seminar, I get a client who's like $20,000.
Yep.
Like she's like, "Oh, you know what? I'll sign you." So there's just this wild thing that starts happening. So first of all, like money being real, it's numbers in your phone
on a computer
that get manipulated constantly. All of a sudden it's like, oh, and they just decide on these fees. There's a $35 fee if you're late. There's this, like, all of it is fucking made up to begin with.
Yeah.
And I just want to check in, if you're listening to this, how's that college degree going for you right now? Just a question.
We're not anti-college.
We're not anti-college.
We went.
And what I have created, this school that I go to, the reason they get so much of my money, and I never regret it. Not 1 second, not $1, not 1 red cent, because I always get it back. I learned life skills. I learned how to heal other people, how to support other people in healing, and how to bring other people up with me. And that for me is priceless. And the confidence that I have. Yeah. I know myself. I know my path. I know how to, if I have anxiety, when I have anxiety, I move through it with ease and grace. And like, that is priceless. Some people go to a therapist every week to help them out of a pattern, and I have the capacity to help myself. And that is like, are you kidding? Like, I know how to fish now.
You know how to fish now.
Yes.
For me, the ROI, like, yes, I'm here for the way that circulation happens with money. That's great. Who I've become, Goddess Brittany King, is through the work of personal development. Who I've become as a partner to my wife is through personal development work. The way I show up through my clients, who I be, is come from personal development work. And there's this thing, and I am sitting and holding your hand with anybody who's like, yo, this conversation is rattling the cages. I might be feeling activated. I'm like I'm feeling things in my body, maybe even personally attacked. But like, of like, what are they talking about? Yes. Where it's just like, how will I know what I'm gonna get on the other side? And it's this both and. Do I know? Not really. But I trust that whatever I'm getting is for me, is for my path, and it's who I become in between, who I become when I've made that investment to like get through those programs is what's changed me, you know? That, and it's changed me, and it's changed how I show up. Like when I invested with my first business coach, I was sweating.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was in it. It was the biggest investment I'd ever made. It was 5 figures. It was like, okay, how am I going to do this? Is it really going to work for me? All the different things. And who I became by 1, saying yes to myself and saying yes to my vision. 2, getting the help, and then going through the program. I'm someone who won't quit. That is what I know about myself. Yes. That is what I got to discover about myself. She couldn't have told me at the beginning, hey, what you're going to get is you're going to get a resilience inside of your soul that is so connected to your passion. You won't fucking give up ever.
Yes.
But that's what I got. And that's what I bring to my clients every day. And I show up and I serve. Like, that's something you can't register for gifts like that.
Yeah.
There is not a college course that says
There's not a class called resilience.
right. And so it's like resilience. These are the things, these experiences lead us to become different people. And that different person is who I want to be. It's why I'm at the personal development class in the beginning. And so sometimes people are like, well, am I going to change? And it's like, I think that's why we're here.
Yeah,
I think that's why we're here.
Yes, and you know, something I want to bring to mind is there are 4 requisites of change that are very important. Like I talk about them all the time, constantly with my client. Is like the first one, we have to let go. You have to let go of your limitations. You have to let go of your beliefs that are keeping you small. You have to put that shit down. You can't believe until you let that shit go. And that's step 1. Step 2 is you have to create a compelling future. Who do you want to become? Who will you become at the end of this? You know, because if you are just looking, if you think you're broken and you're going to get fixed, you're going to stay broken. You have to believe like, hey, at the end of this, I remember when my teacher said, at the front of the room, he goes, if you learn how to do this, you can make a business out of this. And I said, bet, heard. And I essentially was just like, goal. So you have to set a compelling future. And step 3 is you have to take action. You're the only one who can take action. It is so easy to be rah, rah, rah at the end of a week.
Oh, yeah.
Of like people pumping you up and showing you different beliefs and all these things. And like, you could do anything. That is the easiest time to feel good. But that is when the work starts.
Yep.
And if you still have baggage and things of that nature, the half-life on that motivation just drops significantly. And so you're the one who has to take action in your life. You have to, get the EIN, start your business. You have to go on dates. You have to do the thing, you've got to start eating differently. You have to start working out. Whatever it is that you decided you're going to become, you're the only one who could take action. You can't get mad at the seminar or the lesson or anything if you're not willing to take the action. Work starts on Monday afterwards. And you have to stay focused. You have to keep your mind on
step 4.
Yes. And step 4 is you have to stay focused. You have to stay focused on the end result. You're either looking at the end result or you're looking at the obstacle. You even sometimes getting into the door, like, I'm going to use the example because it's perfect. It's like, I want to go to permission.
Yeah.
Well, it's an investment. Brittany's retreat is an investment because we're going to do all of those things.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to sit with you. And you have to know that you're going to get there no matter what you have on the calendar.
Yeah.
You have to know you're going to get there no matter how, I will make the money come.
Yep.
And I'm going to make the money back.
Yep.
Like the people that went to Full Body Yes are fucking thriving.
Thriving.
But people will sit there and just stare at their obstacle and be like, well, I can't do this because, what if this comes up in October and whatnot? And just like, you have to be so committed to your growth that nothing else gets in the way.
So and that's who we be. And who we be. I know. Well, we are so passionate about this. We're so passionate about this because of how it's impacted and changed our lives for the better. And we share this with so much love because we want everyone to win. We want everyone to win. And this is the path. There's many schools, but this is the path that we have found to have the results, to be just streets paved with gold.
Yeah.
Streets paved with gold. The questions are here. Oh gosh. Okay. Can't I just work on myself silently and improve then? Okay.
Yes.
Of course you can.
Yeah, of course you can. Absolutely. And there's something we always say. I wish I could quote the person who told me this because it was so fucking good. But it was, you can't read the instructions from inside the box.
Yeah.
like you have been in this echo chamber of your own thoughts. You believe them to be reality. The people around you, if you live at home with your family, they are the ones that are creating this echo chamber. They help put the triggers in place. Like, you wonder why they push your buttons. It's because they installed them. And like for you to do this process on your own is a slower process. And you can do it. You have to be willing to look deep inside and you have to be ruthlessly honest with yourself. You have to be ruthlessly honest with what you're thinking, where you came from. You have to be willing to be wrong and put things down. And so when you have a structure or something to bounce up against, or someone to like hold up the mirror lovingly and show you, hey, this is not working. That belief you think is so true, it's not. It's not, and all these things you need. Why I love this space is because it takes you out of your environment, which is where all this stuff is anyway. And it pulls you out of your environment and allows you to sit in a different space, understand different realities and different ways of looking at things, and makes you question in a really deep way where you have an opportunity to transcend what it is that you used to think.
Yeah.
You can do it.
You absolutely can do it by yourself. What I always ask is that the most fun way? Literally one of my top values is fun. Is that the most fun way? Maybe for you it is. For me, I love doing things in community. There's power about doing something in community. When someone else shares something and you feel it in your soul of like, they just spoke a truth that I wasn't even aware of was true in myself. Like I was at that level of lying to myself, but I felt it so deeply, and we all get to heal that thing together.
Yes.
The thing that is so powerful about doing this work in a container is you create connections with other people. And because of those connections, like I can call people in moments of challenge, in moments of obstacle. I can call people who I've met through these seminars, through these workshops, through these retreats, and literally just be like, can you remind me who I am?
Yes.
Can you remind me who I am? Can you remind me what's possible? Can you remind me of the truth that we were taught? Because sometimes the matrix be matrixy, and it's like, oh no, I think this thing is really real. And it's not. But having community to be able to hold that with, it just makes it easier to hold that vibration when you're not doing it by yourself. And I love a digital mentor. I love a book. Literally, most books have at least 10 years of wisdom in them. So can you do things on your own? You absolutely can. What I have found is that is the slowest way.
Yeah.
It just is. And as someone who is here for maximizing my time, my energy, and my impact, I'm like, what is the most efficient way?
Yeah.
What is the most efficient way? This is why I love and serve retreats. I have found retreats to be the most efficient way to create massive change that is able to be integrated in such an impactful and deep level in such a short time. That is why I do. That is why I do what I do. But like, but there's not a wrong way. It's literally just finding what feels good to you. And especially when it's something new, like, yeah, I'll start with a book or a YouTube series or a podcast, and I like get to know, like, and trust someone or start to get interested. Like, we didn't know tons about money, and we started with a little digital mentor. Then we invested in a class. Then we invested in a higher level mastermind. Now we're working with personal mentors, highest level of investment for both time and resources.
Yes.
Because that is the access we want. But every time we've invested at a deeper level to get us closer to one who has wisdom,
Yes.
the results are faster.
Yes.
And they're more exponential because someone is literally like, when people talk about timeline hopping, that's what I feel like is when you invest in mentorship.
Yes.
It is a timeline hop where it's like, hey, something that took someone maybe 5 to 10 years to figure out, and now they're able to distill it to you in maybe 90 minutes or less. And now when they can teach you that, that's literally saving you 5 years of your life or more
my
or
gosh.
more.
Yeah. So we just love, we are here for a mentor, a school. It has changed my life to dive in and just allow. And you have another question I want to go deeper into as to like, how do you select someone? So let's go.
Yeah. Let's go.
Keep going.
Let's go.
It's so good.
I know.
Geeking out so hard
I
right now.
know. Well, okay. So then the next question was, if I do start, when does it end? We can come back to that one.
Yeah.
Or how do I know what I need and what I don't need? There are so many personal development modalities that it can feel intimidating to start. Do you go by a specific need or desire or problem you want to fix?
Great.
So I feel like that's all kind of...
That's all in there.
Yeah, it's all in there. So
Yeah.
let's get it.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you had something.
Oh, I do. I mean, I do. Like, this is a belief that I've adopted that I have found to be very empowering. What I need for me will always show up for me.
Yes.
So I trust that my desires are sacred. And if I am being drawn to something, it is because there's something for me there. So when I was in the depths of like healing from sexual assault, I wasn't thinking, I'm not feeling in my body and I need a pleasure mentor. I was like, I'm in pain. I'm recognizing that I'm severely disassociated and I want to feel safe in my body. I think that was maybe as far as I had gotten. I don't even know if I had fully gotten to I want to feel safe in my body.
Yes.
But then I found I got led to a sacred space. Like, there just weren't other pole studios like this.
Yes.
So I literally got led to exactly the place that I needed to be. And I started to trust my intuition. And then I was like, you know what? I actually need more support. And as soon as I thought I need more support, someone reached out to me and they're like, hey, I'm coaching and I'm doing this thing. And I thought that this might be something that would be supportive of you. She literally appeared out of nowhere. I mean, she was at the studio, but like she appeared in my reticular activating system at the time when I was like, I need support with this. And she appeared and I leaned in and invested and worked with this person and did huge, massive work that allowed me to say yes to dating Lisset. So it's like, was I thinking... I wasn't thinking, hey, I'm actually having issues in my relationship. That wasn't top of mind. It was, I'm needing support with navigating healing from this trauma. And through that, I found everything that I needed. So I would invite you to trust that what you are being led to is what you need. What you're seeking is also seeking you.
Amen.
And so sometimes we ask for something and then it shows up and then we're like, oh no, I don't know if I could say yes to that.
Yes.
I mean, this is a lot. That's literally why we're hosting Permission. Hello, it is your favorite pleasure priestess, goddess Brittany King. I would like to share with you a sacred opportunity to join me and other amazing goddesses at a luxury retreat just outside of Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. You are invited to Permission. This is an opportunity to give yourself the ultimate gift, permission to be unapologetically you. From October 23rd to the 27th, you can join us for an unforgettable experience in luxury with epic rituals, life-changing workshops, soul-nourishing practice, and really, really great food. Yes. These things will awaken your senses and ignite your passions. Permission is an intimate container with limited spaces so that everyone gets personalized attention. So if you are ready to step into your power, to unleash your desires and claim everything you've wanted, the time is now. come to my website, goddessbrittanyking.com, and that's Brittany, BRITTNEY, king.com, for more information and to schedule a call to find out if this is the best fit for you. The opportunity is yours.
And I want to speak to this from another perspective. If you follow me on Instagram at Lisset King Official, there's one of my story highlights is testimonials and gratitudes for the companies that have changed me, because they haven't all been bangers. There are certain things I went to and I was like, okay, that was good. I'm a big fan of like a spiritual, personal development buffet. Like I will get something nourishing from every place I go, but the quality is much better. And so I have a whole list in there of places that have changed my life in a really big way. And when I was lost, all I needed was an answer. And that's when Gadget came in and dropped in, and I did Sai seminars, which was a great way to turn on the lights. Like the lights came on for me going to Sai seminars. It got me out of victim into responsible. And I learned you're 100% responsible for all of your results. I learned the how is not your business. Intention is everything. I learned so many things there that truly impacted my life. But there was a time that I wasn't getting change. And I found myself hanging around the same people, but things weren't changing in a drastic way. And someone introduced me to NLP. My first people that I learned NLP from, don't recommend. Was not a fan. The teacher was very out of integrity. There are reasons why I wouldn't go back there. But then I met my current teacher, Dr. Matt James. I would recommend him to anyone. NLP.com, like they are masters, like they're masters of teaching. Like I told you, I created my business out of this. And I serve for those that don't want to sit in an entire personal development seminar and want to just get it knocked the fuck out. You could come see me and I'll get you in there. I'll get you that 5 years of therapy in a day. So that is what I do. That is massively powerful. But there has not been, what I realized was there came a time where I was like, I need actual change. And then this came into my life. There came a time when we were like, we need to get our financial house in order. And so a mentor came to us.
Yes, the Budgetnista, Tiffany Alice. She's incredible.
She's incredible. And that was when we were at like, what the fuck do we do?
That was we were at the what the fuck.
What the fuck?
Yes. And now we've graduated from our work with her, and now we're in working with different mentors. Shout out to Amanda Francis.
Yes. Shout out to Amanda Francis. Because now we're about prosperity. We're about enjoying that life. How much can we enjoy? How much can we live and share and be generous? Those things. So we've up-leveled, our mentors keep elevating and things have changed. Money gets invested. Now we're in a different phase in our life. And so it is, what you need deep down inside. Just ask yourself, what is the next step? Because you don't have to know the whole path. I've taken a lot of classes. I've tipped the scale where I have spent more in personal development than I ever did on college. And that comes with a lot of experience, and the experience I've gotten, I can make solid recommendations of people that I've learned from.
Yeah. I would just honing on off of that. Like I'm someone who very much is like, trust your intuition. And this is a skill and a relationship that I've built with myself. If you're not in the space where you're like, I super trust my intuition, are there people in your life who you respect, who you would want a recommendation from?
Yes.
Point me in this direction. Like you reached out to us. We will put, like Lisset has the testimonials. Like, are there people in your life where you're like, hey, I like what that person's doing. Who did they study with? Most people I have noticed shout out who their teachers are. Gabrielle Bernstein in her book, it's like, this was my teacher, this was my teacher, this was my teacher. I'll be like, Jolie was my teacher, Tiffany was my teacher, this was my teacher. These are who I taught from. This is who I would recommend. And what you get an opportunity to do with an investment and trusting is like, I'm going to trust my choice. I'm going to trust that I'm going to get exactly what I need from this experience. And like that, even that's a skill that I have learned through personal development.
Yeah. And you get the value that you put in.
Oh,
you
yeah.
cannot show up and be like, okay, do me.
Yeah.
Like fix me. You know, like you have to be committed to the work.
Yeah.
And it's not just 1 week. It is going in over and over and over again. The class that we will be at, when you hear this, Brittany's taking it for the first time. I'm assisting for the second time. So I'm going through this class essentially for the third time because every time I go there, I learn how to have more impact with my words. I've spoken to bigger audiences. I've been on more podcasts. The moment I went to this class and I came back, it was so intense, but Brittany's like, you're different. I need to do that. Like it was so, it's wonderful. When you say it's intangible, who you be is just so different. So I've got, like I said, I have solid recommendations.
Solid as a rock. Yeah. So yeah, who do you trust to ask for a solid recommendation?
Yes.
Ooh, this is juicy. How much money do you put aside?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Let's talk money. Let's talk money. So we did some numbers.
Yeah.
And
well, the first thing I want to say before we share our numbers is honor and respect where you are in your financial world and in your financial journey. When I first started, I had a 10% setting money aside for things. And then I was like, no, I need to do that $7,000 seminar. And I made things work. So there are ratios you can do that are playing it a little safer. And then there's what we invest, which is...
Well, I also want to just say too, like, how do you describe your more's growth? Like everybody has a more, say that thing. Okay.
So one of the prime directives of the unconscious mind, which means your unconscious mind has a job. It's got several subcategories. And one of them is that it's always seeking more. It's always seeking more. And it really comes down to what is your more? You know, everyone has a different more. And for me, my more is how great can I be? How much wisdom can I learn? How can I expand to be the highest self, the highest me? How can I know myself at the deepest level so I can serve at the highest capacity? And I always say that my last day on earth will be my best day on earth because I always upgrade.
Yeah.
And I live by that. That's my mantra. That's what I say and that's what I do. And so when I get pulled towards something, when we got invited to Egypt, when we heard about this trip to Egypt, we said yes before we ever met the person. We just our soul said, I know something is there for me and I'm going to be different. And we figured it the fuck out.
And still had a wedding.
This year's been crazy with the investing.
Yes. Okay. So this year, when we tallied it up, we are at the investing level of $65,000 for 2024.
Yeah,
that we know about. These are the ones that we know about, that we've already committed to on the books. It's July. We are very much people of, if something speaks to our heart and soul, we will fucking figure it out.
Yes.
Because everything is figure outable, and just a little sprinkle of the universe. As soon as you decide that you want something, the universe will conspire to get it for you. So,
and we can say that is the truest true.
It's so true.
When I have decided with my heart and my soul that I need to do something, and I just want to say I've hit my edge so many times, because I started my first one was a little $600 seminar, and I was like, oh my gosh, how could I? And at Guitar Center, that was a paycheck. Seriously, that was a paycheck, and I was like, how could I spend 2 weeks' pay on that? That was, thinking back, I'm like, whoa, that's fucking ridiculous. But it was so hard for me to spend $600. But when I knew that the next course was $4,000, I was like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I knew who I was going to be at the end of that was going, the trajectory of my life. It was glowing signs. I needed to go to what's next. And now we're at the level where a $16,000 seminar presents itself. And I'm like, that is my mentor. That is my teacher. I get to spend 5 days with him in an intimate setting. Take my money.
we're going.
We're fucking going.
We're going. We're going. So it's a wonderful, expansive experience. And like, we are human and we are people who lean into the edges. Like, look at the work we do.
Yeah.
Look at the work we do where we're like, what gets to be on the other side of this edge? And every time it has been so rewarding. The first time I went to like a real luxury retreat in Maui, I went there. It was about pleasure. I had made this declaration of like, I want to have a healing experience with the masculine. Then I saw this company. Like, it was like within an hour, I saw what they really do. And it was just like, oh, I gotta go do that. And I saw the price tag and I was just like, well, I know I'm going. I don't know how, but I know I'm going. And best and believe your girl was there. So I was there, and not only was it so healing to have such a beautiful experience with the masculine and all the things, but there was this other woman who was there who, she's just a blessing. And she did a ritual with me that was so otherworldly. And in it, my mom had passed not maybe the year before, around the year before. Yeah. But I felt my mom with me, like holding my head, and I just wept. And there was such understanding in the depth in my soul. And this was a non-medicine experience. This was a sober experience. This was a beautiful experience, but it profoundly changed me, and I felt so understood. And it built a connection with my mom. Like, that was something that was so unexpected that you can't register for things like that. So it's like, to put a price on me having closure with my mom passing.
Yeah.
What's the price of that? The price of me healing my relationship with a masculine. And so now that I can have healthy men in my life and welcome a child as a man, and like, what's the price on that? What's the price on having my love and us building a life together, and me actually being able to let in and feel her love? Like, these things that we're trying to put numbers to, and I'm like, $65K, that's a fucking steal.
Yeah, it really is. Our life just, it funnels like money. If there's anything we've learned through like really being mentored by people at a higher frequency, is that money is currency. It's meant to be moved. It's meant to be moved like a current. You know, one of my favorite things that I think it's Michael Beckwith says, what you appreciate appreciates.
Yes.
You know, what it's built in, what you spend and really truly are in gratitude about, it comes back threefold. And it does. It literally comes back threefold. I know, as I look at that number, I'm like, yep. That's about right.
That's about right. That's about right. Yeah.
That's about right. That's the threefold return that we're getting. But that's just numbers. The numbers, the ROI is 3 to 1. But like, who I am, how I speak, how I represent in the world, the way that I get to serve. Like, I was in tears this week from working with a client. It wasn't in the session, it was afterward, when the client said, you are a gift. And like, I feel like Spirit sent me to you. And I was just like that getting to be that person in other people's lives, that is so fucking priceless. And I sharpen who I am every time that I go and do something, so that I can serve at a higher level, so I can receive at a higher level. Your capacity to receive becomes greater the more you expand. You know, it's the whole thing about like lottery winners. You know, 95% of them lose it within like 5-7 years. And it's that capacity to hold. Can you hold that much energy? And every time I do something to this nature, like, yes, we're getting woo. I am going all in on the woo right now. But like, every time I invest in myself and allow my mind to expand a little bit more, I can hold a little bit more, I can give a little bit more. God, that's, you cannot put a dollar amount on that.
No.
Period.
No. And so if you are wherever you are in your investing journey, if you're like curious about, well, where do I start? Do I start with the 20,000 one? Like, where do I start?
Yeah.
Literally just start looking at your bank statements and seeing, where do you spend your money? And is that in alignment with what you say your values are? Like, if you said your value was health and you notice, well, there's fast food, there's fast food, there's gummy bears, there's this.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, where I'm allowing flow and currency to go to is actually not in alignment with my values.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just even start to look at that and just being like, okay, what is it that I'm seeing is being reflected to me? Is that what I value? And how would I like to value? And like, what does it look like to value myself in this way?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it might be a $600 seminar.
Yes.
It might be, that might be the perfect place to start, but like,
And it might be a book.
Yeah.
And it might be a book.
Absolutely.
We do not discriminate. There's a lot of good things and a lot of good books. It might be a book is your thing to start.
Yeah.
And then it might be the $600 seminar. And then it might grow from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you might find a mentor and all that. Like, there's someone who I'm still, it's on my list to work with, is Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Oh, yeah.
Because I started with his books and then I bought the meditations. I started doing the meditation. I had a bunch of friends that were super into his meditations. And I started to notice my life was changing through doing his meditations. And my life looks drastically different. And so it has been on my list to go to a Dispenza seminar. And I'm just going to declare it right now. Let's do that.
Let's do it.
We're here for it. Like I plan to do that sometime in the next year.
Great.
I would done.
And
just like that, it's done.
Yeah.
But his books, oh my God, they give so much life. Like that man shows miracle after miracle after miracle that you're like, well, if the body's self-healing like this, you know, because it is. And he made me see things in a different way. And like a lot of the work that he did, I know contributed to me just climbing Mount St. Helens and believing in my body's capacity to do that. So there's just, it's layered. We're not one or the other. We're the accumulation of all the work we've done.
Yes. There's so many. I just feel so grateful that there are so many amazing teachers.
Oh, I do want to answer does it ever end?
Oh, yeah. I was looking at, yes. Okay. Does it ever
Yes.
end?
And I would say it's a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong journey. If the path you wish to walk down is seeing what's possible and living something magnificent, and there is no shade on people that just like what they like, you know, if your goal is I want to have a house and 2.5 kids and a dog and that is my infinite happiness, no shade, that is perfect. And growth and expansion and healing is a lifelong journey. I believe Earth School is here for us to learn from, and you graduate when you ascend to the next level. So I don't believe it ever ends. I do believe in ebbs and flows. Like there is a time when you can learn a ton, but if you're not applying it, you have got to, like, I pour everything that I pour into me, into my business and helping others, into being the best wife I can be. And, you know, we're going to start the parent journey soon and being the best parent I can be. I know that in itself is going to be its own personal development seminar.
We're Polly, personal development
That's
seminar.
That's a personal development seminar. The choices we make in life, everything can develop you. The person that you are. So it's not just about being in a class or going to retreat. It's allowing everything to expand you or decay you. And I just prefer the life of expansion.
I love that. For me, it's about how good can it get?
Yeah, that's true.
How
that is your brand.
Yeah, I'm like, how juicy, how pleasurable. Like my thighs are, I'm like, how good can it get? And what I have found through the path of investing in myself and personal development is like life just keeps getting better and better and better and more dope. And when I look at pictures of our wedding, I'm like, that was for personal development, and that was for personal. Like literally, the wedding was one of the most front of mind biggest examples of putting into work of like who I got to become from all of the personal development work that I have experienced, because it was the edges of finances. It was the edges of time. It was, can we do this? Can we say yes to this and still also say yes to all the other ways in which we wish to invest and serve and all these different things? And it was just like, oh my God, it got to be so good. It got to be so good. And I'm here for good. I'm here for great. I'm good for easy. And personal development has taught me how good and great and easy things can be. So that is my more. My more is more pleasure. And I have found that in this space by learning these tools. And the community that we've been able to build through this work it's just expansive. Like on our cross country honeymoon, we went on the road for 5 months during the vid, and Lisette knows people all across the country because she's done
in almost every state. Like every state, we got to stay with people, and we got gifted houses to stay in during our honeymoon, and it's because the people that I met in these spaces, like deep, nourishing friendships. It's not like someone you know all through high school or anything. It is like you go in the trenches with someone.
Yeah.
When you go deep into the valley that is your soul.
Yeah.
With someone, like you become instant friends. I know I have people that I could reach out to and just pop in and be like, hey, I'm in town. And they'd be like, come on over. I got a warm meal for you. And that is, that's priceless too.
That's priceless too.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just, do you have any like sparkling moment of what personal development has given you? I know you've mentioned so many.
I've mentioned so, like it's, how do I sum up like I've been given my life. This life. Like I can look back, and I'm big on timelines as well, and timeline hopping and creating a different reality. And I can look back at what my trajectory would have been if I would have never gone down this path. And it's just, it's bleak and it's grim, and it's, I feel like the life that I have today is because I never stopped working on myself and believing in something better. And it's not just like, I really want to drill home the point that like life be lifey. Things are challenging. It doesn't matter what level you are. Like I get to hang out. I'm blessed to hang out with people in all levels of life, and no one is without challenge. No one is without challenge. I don't care how much money you have in the bank. No one is without challenge. And my ability to handle challenge. I used to freak out at a phone bill being high. I used to get thrown off so much by the smallest things. And now like I'm on being an entrepreneur that has all sorts of growth and expansion and challenges that I get to face and grow through and expand and go, okay, that's great. What's next? More, please.
Yeah. I feel just like emotional for like every person who saw me through the bullshit and the mask and the lies of like, I have all these barriers of like, this is who I think I am. And they're like, I see you shining in there. You're a glitter disco ball in there. like, I believe in your greatness in there. And who held up that mirror of greatness to me and reminded me who the fuck I am. And so I'm grateful every day to Empowerment, to Jolie Dawn, to Tiffany, to Amanda Francis, to Tony Robbins, to like fucking so
Dr. John DeMartini, Michael Beckwith.
The list goes on and on. Lisette King.
Brittany King.
To Devin, Lytle, Kelsey. There's just so many people in my life who saw me and just were like, yo, you're fucking amazing. And
you're better than this.
You're better than this. And I'm going to remind you that that's true. And so I'm just so grateful. Like you said, it's like personal development gave me my life today, and it's the reason why I'm still here, and so many different things. So I'm so grateful, and I'm so grateful to be in the space of someone who gets to serve other people and remind them, like, this is part of why we started King Experiences, which is us working together. But it was like, we will love you into your greatness. That is the mission and the backbone and everything of this company. We will love you into your greatness.
We will straighten your crown because you've got one.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure that you're shining.
Yeah.
Shining bright from the inside. Like, that is my vision, is just that we all live as magnificent a life as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want that for everyone.
I want that for everyone. And there's no denying that there is tragedy, there's war, there are terrible things happening on the planet. And what can you do to make this world a little bit better? Like, you are the center of your world. What can you do? It's an inside job. What can you do to make yourself shine a little brighter, to make this world a little bit better?
Yeah. Personal development can be for every person.
Yes.
I remember when I used to believe it's only for the rich.
Yeah.
I used to believe it's only rich people who get to work on themselves, who have the luxury. And like, that's just not fucking true.
That's not true.
Like, this is an experience that is open and available to whoever desires it and whoever wants it.
Yes.
It's you who gets to choose, you who gets to remember, I am worthy. I'm choosing this for myself.
Yeah.
Because me.
Yeah. So I do believe it is available for every person. Not everyone wants to do it, and that's okay. Like, I have people I went to college with, and some of them have not changed very much, and that's okay. Like, I love them exactly where they are, and I have made invitations and all the things, and I'm just like, hey, if you're happy, that's all that fucking matters. You know, like, so is it for every person? Yes, I believe it's available for everyone, and it's information is cheap. You can find a mentor online today. Literally, any of those names that we said, any of those people have tons of free information out there. And my invitation is, what happens when you invest? Because there is something to be said when you put your money on the line. Money has a big charge on it. And so when you invest in yourself, when you lean in, when you put the chips on the table, now you're invested. You're invested in your growth. You lean in. Whereas, like, you can listen to books all day long on audio. Sorry, I'm an audible person. But, like, I can listen to books all day long, but if I don't apply it, there's something about, like, dropping $7,000 or $16,000 on a course. I'm like,
I'm here.
I am fucking here.
I'm listening.
I am listening. I'm doing it. I'm going to squeeze every last goodness out of being here. I'm going to bring all of me to this. And so I do invite you to invest in your growth and see what happens.
What would it be like to bring all of you to a situation?
Yeah.
To bring all of you. Yeah, I'm here for it. And I would just add on, if there's something that you're desiring, this is for you.
Yeah.
If there's something that you're desiring in your life, whether that's partnership or feeling confident or wanting more wealth or wanting to have more patience, or if there is something that you are desiring, I invite you to invest in yourself and explore personal development because it's an inside job.
Yeah.
It's an inside job. Anything that we want on the outside, it starts on the inside.
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this was so good. I feel like you can tell that we're passionate about it. I felt like I was a bit sassier today because I'm so like, yo, it changed my life.
It changed my life.
It changed my life.
100%.
There was just like a before personal development, after. And before I was fucking terrified and being like, how can I spend money? And now I'm like, how can we not?
How can we not?
How can we not?
You cannot afford not to.
Cannot afford not to.
Yeah.
No, this life is precious. I'm here for it. So thank you so much for listening and tuning in. And like, we would love to hear from you.
Yes.
If what resonated, what stuck to you, if there was something that really rattled the cage and was like, let us know. And like, let's talk about it.
If this show upset you in any way, you want to grow.
Want to grow. Yeah, we're here for it. And if you have a question, you can give us a call or send us a text message like this person, 971-895-4111. We love to hear from you. We are going to keep episodes going while we are at this training. Yeah. I am doing my best. I'm editing. Yeah, I'm just going to say I'm doing it. And I'm the person who does what I say I'm going to do. So the episodes are coming out.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yeah. And until we meet again.
Yeah.
Be honest with each other.
Yes.